Hi guys, it's David James from Business Growth Digital Marketing, and today I've got a special guest all the way from the opposite side of the world, all the way from Portugal. He's in a different time zone to me, so I'm actually talking to him from the future. His name is Louie Luc. Welcome aboard.
Hi there, James. Hi,
Uh,
everybody.
how are you going today?
I'm doing fine.
Excellent.
I woke up really early today.
Oh man,
Uh, no
uh,
problem.
man, I hope you've got your coffee. Yeah, we need a double
Yeah,
espresso sometimes.
yeah. I had a double espresso actually.
Yeah. So, like, I've got Louis on the show today because uh, we actually connected through Anne Smarty's My Blog You, and Louis's been documenting internet marketing steps as he's building some niche websites and also learning more about SEO and other internet marketing and internet monetization techniques. I had a look at his site, and also I saw some of the link roundups that he did, which got quite a bit of buzz. So I thought it would be really, really interesting to have him on the show to talk us through what he's seen, some of the learnings he's been able to experience. Without any further ado, let me get the man to introduce himself, Louis Luc. Yeah, so just tell us a bit
uh,
about yourself.
Hi there, everybody. My name is actually my real name is Luís. I'm from Portugal, but for international purposes, I'm more known as Louie Luc in the internet marketing world. I run buzznitrous.com. That's an internet marketing website where I try out new online business ideas, marketing strategies, and growth hacks. And I'm publicly running an each side project where I um, explain every step I take from right from scratch until I start earning some money with the website.
Wow, that's
Um, yeah, my posts are very long and in depth, so people who are interested in starting their own niche websites can learn a lot about that and what they need to do and how they do it, thanks to my posts, hopefully.
and this is awesome. Uh, it's funny you say that because in internet marketing for a long time, a lot of people will write things, but they just give you a little bit of a hint. They don't give you everything. And I've looked at what you've given, and it's really, really valuable. You get a lot of people sharing it. What made you think to just give away everything compared to
Uh,
what other people do?
I started. I actually started in the internet marketing world a long time ago, back in 2000.
Wow.
Right after I first got online for the first time. Uh, it was in on December 31st, 1998,
Oh, wow.
and right there and there, I didn't really know what the internet was about.
Hmm.
I thought I had no idea. So I had this little book that came with a magazine that was related to technology and stuff that told me which were the top 100 websites on the internet.
Okay.
And I started with the first one that was listed there. It was an old search engine called altavista.com.
Yes, I remember.
And they said, when I entered the URL, they said it was written there that that website or that service answered people's questions.
Okay.
So I asked, what's my name? I
Hmm.
asked that in Portuguese, and the first result that I found was from a young girl, a student called Hannah,
Hmm.
and there I realized that people, regular people, just like us, not big companies with lots of money and web developers,
Hmm.
could own a website. So
Yep.
it was not restricted to big companies,
Yes.
and that started an idea in my head that I could also on my website and build an audience, just like having my own TV channel.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
of course, with an audience, you can make money.
Yes.
Maybe I had already an entrepreneurial mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, I started learning how I could put up a website online, and I had to learn. So I started sending emails to other webmasters that I found and asked them how they do it,
Yes.
and they told me, okay, we actually developed the site ourselves. There was no WordPress at the time, not even Google, and they told me one of them actually told them you built this website entirely on Notepad.
Yes.
So there was no Dreamweaver or or software like that. So I started learning web development, and became a web developer. And I was building and monetizing websites from 2000 until now. And
Wow.
I actually worked as a web developer, and and between that, I went to college and graduated in marketing.
Wow.
So I kind of connected both things, web development and marketing, and became an internet marketer.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, it kind of led me to this my life. So actually the knowledge I had running my websites helped me in school to get better grades because I understood what people wanted when
Yes.
they visit my sites, and I had good grades in marketing, and that was it. But to answer your question, the reason I started to explain to write those posts so in depth and thorough is because a lot of blogs always say, "Oh, I make $100,000 per month," but
Yeah.
they don't actually show you how. They
Yes.
just tell you how much they make, and not how they do it.
Yes.
So I was inspired by other bloggers like Pat Flynn
Yes.
and Spencer Ross, and I started my own niche side project, explaining everything I do and how I do it. With there are some rules. I cannot reveal my domain name
Yes.
uh, because I don't want people to link to it and affect the rankings,
Yes.
and I also don't want my site copied,
Yes.
at least until I finished the project.
Yes.
So, and I am spending a lot of time with it, and I want to make money with it eventually, of course.
Yeah. Like what you
So
said.
that's the main reason.
What you said is exactly true with being able to build an audience, and there's a lot of people who don't want to share, everything, or they don't want to give you enough value. But I've also seen like guys like Pat Flynn, and there's another guy, Matthew Woodward, who
Yeah.
really go in depth, and uh, like I find from what I'm even doing, even though my audience is small compared to theirs at the moment, that the more value you can give, the more you tend to get back. Is that what you
Yeah, that's
find as
right.
well?
Yeah, I also believe that the more you help people, the more you'll get. I'm not referring to money, but
Hmm.
I'm referring to really helping people, and they will thank you
Yes.
eventually. Like Pat Flynn says, earning money, not making, but earning. There's a difference.
Yes.
I actually explained that on my blog. Earning money is just a byproduct
Yes.
of you helping your audience.
Yeah. I
That's what I believe.
I believe in that too. It's really great to hear another internet marketer say that. There's a lot of people who do internet marketing and they just focus on how do I make money, how do I find a market that will just give me as much as possible, and they forget about trying to give value. What are your thoughts on that?
I believe we have to. I don't see how a website can be successful or an internet marketer can be successful if he doesn't give value to his audience or to their audience.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do.
Yeah. Look, I think that's spot on. You did mention one interesting thing, which was about not revealing your domain names or revealing the web content, because you do get people who either uh, try to compete with you,
Yeah,
or they steal your content. Uh, I know with some of the sites that I manage, one of the biggest problems I'm starting to get is people stealing my content. Uh, have you had that experience a
yeah.
lot?
I had one of my websites. It was my first website about making money online, like 15 years ago.
Yes,
I had that site completely copied,
yes,
completely. Not they didn't even change the colors
yeah,
or add something different. It was exactly the same.
yes. And like now, Google has I think it's called the DMCA, which is supposed to help. But
Yeah.
like, how did you deal with the situation back then? You know?
I contacted the webmaster and he told me that another guy had done the same. So he was just copying the other guy, not me.
Oh dear. Yeah, and then
And that was it.
and they had seen that like, you were successful, and then they tried to copy what you were doing. Well, not try to, they
Yeah,
actually copied what you were doing.
yeah. But there's another reason why I don't want to. I prefer not to reveal the domain name.
Yep.
It's because I'm teaching people, and
Yes.
people have to try them to do things, the things that I teach them by themselves, not just copy. Copying
Yes.
it's easy.
Yeah.
They wouldn't learn if they copied.
Yeah. Actually,
So they have to try it.
I think that's a really good point that you made. So, like over the years, because you started doing internet marketing before I did, what have you seen that's like been working, and then what have you seen that's also changed a lot from what was working before compared to what you think is working now?
In the first years, when there was no Google yet, it was very easy for me to rank on the top spots.
Yes.
And we still have search engine here in Portugal that is now using the Google search engine behind it. That is called Sapo.
Okay.
It means frog
Okay.
in English.
Okay.
Uh, and we the way we submitted our website to their search engine was we had to send an email with the URL, the keywords, and etc. And they would always rank me first for some reason.
Yes.
So that was pretty easy to do. Um, and now it's getting harder and harder. There's much more competition. Um, and sometimes you get some bad news from Google,
Yes.
especially when you get some penalties. Especially when you think you don't deserve it,
Yes.
when you don't deserve them, and that happened to me twice so far, and it was really a bad day for me.
Yes.
It completely destroyed one of my businesses
Yes.
that I was running.
Was this a couple years ago, or was
Yeah.
it?
To give you an idea, like I said, I started back in 2000,
Yes.
and I started building websites and monetizing websites, trying to do several things. Then I went to school and got a little away from the internet.
Yes.
I lost a little bit of focus there, but then I started working as a web developer and as a programmer, and but when I was laid off from work due to the economic crisis in Europe.
Oh yes.
They had to cut down expenses, and so they cut me out of the equation. And I told it was beginning to be very difficult to find a job,
Yes.
especially in the it's a little bit weird because more and more programmers and developers are required, but that was the way the economy was.
Yes.
They wanted a guy who did everything and learned all and knew about all the languages, programming languages there was, and they would only pay you like almost the minimum wage.
Yes.
So I decided, I used to build websites online and make decent money. Let me try to do that again.
Yes.
So and also for interview purposes, I built a CMS, that's a content management system,
Yes.
like WordPress, to show off on interviews, and then I started to add content.
Yes.
And it became like a viral news website.
Oh wow.
And and someone it started with jokes and then images, and and I thought, why not videos? And so it became a viral videos website. And I run it for 4 to 5 years.
Yes.
Until that day when I got an email from Google AdSense telling me my domain was banned.
Oh dear.
Because they told me I had duplicate content, but it was like 3 paragraphs.
Yes.
I had 3 posts with videos with the trailers from movies.
Yes.
And I had copied like 1 paragraph from the synopsis of the movie.
Yes.
And they told me that was duplicate content.
Yes.
And that really killed my business. And I got really down, and I didn't know what to do. And so I looked for alternative ways to make money, not just AdSense.
Yes.
And then I found a site from Servando Silva. Do you know? It's quite known, the guy. And then I found Pat Flynn,
Yes.
IncomeDiary.com, and all that people, and that got me back to affiliate marketing.
Yes.
And internet marketing. And now I don't want to know about Google AdSense anymore because they have their own rules.
Yes.
I've seen websites doing the same things that I did, and they don't get penalized because they are huge sites.
Yes.
And so there are some people that cannot do bad things, and there are other people that can do it.
Yes.
For Google.
Look,
so that's a little unfair.
Yes.
I don't like to be a part of that game.
Yeah. It's really interesting to hear about how creative that you have been, because like you've been in the industry for a long time, and there's been a lot of changes. Some changes that have been good, and some changes that have been bad. But even though you might have had some bad experiences, you were creative in creating a new opportunity. So so that's really, really interesting to hear. And I know I meet a lot of other people who want to start doing internet marketing, and like they try to make money from, let's say, AdSense, and then they write maybe 50 blogs, and then they make 20 cents, and then they get all depressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's really bad.
Yeah, but like what you said was you found affiliate marketing, and then you were able to start monetizing your website from another.
I actually found it back because the first years I was doing affiliate marketing. I was promoting online gambling, casinos and stuff.
Oh wow.
And in the first 2 years, I made $10,000.
Yes.
This was back in 2000, so it was a lot of money.
Yes.
for a beginner.
Yes.
So somehow I lost my focus along the way. I was a kid back then, right?
Yeah.
So you have other things in mind,
Yes.
and you lose focus.
I read you loud and clear. uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing a person should have to be an entrepreneur is to be creative and to always find new ways to handle situations that occur in their careers.
Yes.
So when you fall, that's good because you're learning. Okay, this doesn't work. Let me try something else. That's the best you can do.
Yes.
You can have start businesses. Your business can die, but you have to have that personal feature or characteristic to stand up again and try something else.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Uh, I just wanted to ask you, because I didn't realize you were also in the casino and gambling industry. Uh, I've had experience in difficult industries, but I've not done that one. And in my opinion, that one is probably the most challenging industry. Uh, and I find that with that industry, you have to be very, very creative with your strategies. So
Yeah.
yeah. So have you been able to take that learning experience and apply it to the niche websites that you run now?
Yeah, because to be true, back then it was like I said before, it was easier to rank.
Yes.
So I was, and there was almost no competition. So I ranked my online casinos websites much easier,
Yes.
and I made a lot of money with that. But then the rules changed in Europe about gambling and.
Hmm.
The euro, the currency, showed up, and it was stronger than dollar, I think. So
Yes.
the money I made uh, began to be not so much as I did before.
Yes.
But I did learn, like I told you, some of the knowledge that I got from running my websites and monetizing them helped me in school to get better grades and understand what people wanted, what my audience wanted.
Yes.
So it's really not, I wouldn't say easy, but it's really logical when you think about it. When a visitor comes to your website, he or she wants to find something. So you have to give it to them.
Yes.
And if you do, that's on the spot.
Yeah. Look, you hit the nail right on the head. And I want to take what you just said and I want to talk about it in terms of SEO and link building. Because I think, in my opinion, there's a lot of people doing SEO who just don't focus on that, giving people what they want or giving the specific audience exactly what they want. What do you
Okay.
think? Yeah, what do you think?
Uh, you have to put yourself in your visitor's shoes.
Yes,
When you're searching for something online, what you want to find? You want to find your answer or solution to your problem.
yes,
How many times then did you search on Google and click on the search result and try to find your answer and see a completely different thing that you were expecting? How many times? That's
yes,
frustrating.
yes, it is.
So when you are on the other side, when you are the webmaster or the blogger or the internet marketer, you have to think about it. You have to
Mm.
give, you have to put yourself in your visitor's shoes and think, what do I want to find here? And then write about it. Give the best you can, add the most value you can, and give that to your visitor.
Yes,
So that's the best SEO strategy there is.
yes,
Giving your visitor what he or she wants to find there.
yeah. Look, what you've said is exactly what I keep on trying to tell people, uh, and especially when it comes to link building strategies. Because I know some people they understand it from a like e-commerce point of view, but then when it comes to doing link building, they just think that they can create something and people will link to it. But I keep on saying that you need to apply the same strategy. You need to give people exactly what they want, but you need to
Yeah,
understand who that audience is. Uh,
true.
yeah. So, I wanted to ask you if you might be able to give an example, like for example, with the link roundups that you have been doing, how you were able to make that successful.
In terms of link building and
Yeah, yeah,
SEO,
yeah. So yeah, in terms of
uh,
link building.
so my initial strategy, this was another step in my niche site project, where I wanted to teach my audience how to uh, how to build links to their websites. So I decided to ask several SEO experts uh, what their best link building strategies were to help me achieve that goal. And what I wanted from this roundup post was to help my audience first, and also to connect with other bloggers and experts to get to be known. That's important too, to make some connections.
Yes.
And of course, if you connect with other people who are influencers and have huge followings, and if they end up sharing your post because
Yes.
they want to share something where they were a part of, and if they share that post with their audience, you will have a lot of visitors. You will get to be known by other audiences,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually you'll get some backlinks in the process.
Yes.
Although that was not my initial goal, and it will eventually end up happening. And I actually used Ahrefs to check my post yesterday, and
Yes.
I already got 7 backlinks
Oh, well
from
done.
that post.
Hey,
Yeah,
well done.
thank you. So it without asking for people to link to that post, I already got 7 backlinks, which is pretty good.
Yes.
And so I got to do that. So
Yeah.
that was
I just wanted to also mention something that you said, and you said that you focused on uh, giving your audience value, and a lot of people in SEO they just think about how do I get the link. They don't think about the value, and one of the things I try to explain to people is if you focus on giving the value, then the links will come. And your example is a very, very good example where you just
yeah,
focused on getting value. You took time to do it. You didn't even have to ask for a link, and the links came anyway. And you got 7 of them,
true.
not just one. So this is the
Yeah,
thing I try to either explain to clients or to stakeholders, because most people they will come to me and they will say, uh, "Can you get me 8 links a month for like 7 months and build it to this content?" And you look at the content and nobody wants to read it. So I normally say to them, you need to make everything valuable first, and then once it's valuable, then we can start looking at the link opportunities, and it will be easy
uh,
to come as well, easier.
I completely agree. And if you think how Google sees links, it sees like someone or some website giving a vote to another website.
Yes,
So it will only give its vote if the content is valuable, it's helpful and useful. If it is not, people won't link to it. So it's logical to
yeah,
think that way.
yeah. I was wondering if you might have another example, because you've done it successfully with a link roundup, even though that wasn't your intention. But is there
Yeah.
another thing that you did, whether it's just building a specific niche website, or you might have published an infographic, or you published another article that also did well with getting links? If you could just tell me about
Yeah.
another example.
I was actually a few months ago. I was working for a company, and I was in the link building department.
Okay.
And we built the links at scale.
Yes.
We used the guestographic link building strategy.
Yep.
Uh, that's another word to say infographics.
Yes.
Uh, and what we did was we would create good content that people would want to read about on certain niches.
Yes.
Uh, and we wrote a blog post about it, about that topic, and then we summarized the main idea of the post into several bullet points.
Yes.
And then we would ask our designer to build a nice infographic around it.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, we would contact several bloggers in that niche and offer them the possibility to publish our infographic with a kind of a bribe.
Yes.
We would write the infographic introduction for them. So
Yes.
it was a guest post with the infographic image on it, and we would place our link in the actual text, the introductory text. So yeah, and we were building links. I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 or 40 per week.
Oh, per week. Wow.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done. That's really to scale.
So, but the content had to be good, and also the infographic had to look nice. And then we actually discussed the matter with a very known bloggers in the industry,
Yes.
and they were spending a lot more money than we did.
Yes.
To build links at scale, they had to be fairly cheap, or else
Yeah.
it wouldn't work. So they were spending a lot of money on their infographics, like more than 250 per infographic.
Yes.
$50, and also on the content. So
Yes.
we did it for much cheaper, for much cheaper.
Yeah. Actually, just want to ask you about that. Like, firstly, congratulations on being able to do that at scale. That's one of the most impressive executions I've heard for one particular website in a while. So yeah, well done. I've also been talking to other people in the industry, and also with my own practices, that it's really important to spend maybe a lot of the budget or a lot of the time on developing the content that you're going to use to pitch to other websites. And then that's when you can do it at scale, do link building at scale to make it cheaper. So, like for example, if there's somebody who just wants to go out and buy links, they're going to be buying links for $100 to $1,000 per link. But then if they spend the time actually building content that's really valuable, such as an infographic or a really in-depth post, or even like doing an ebook, for example, or just anything that's of value, then afterwards I found that you can get the links to scale, and it tends to be very cheap. It's because it comes in quite quickly, and your example just highlighted that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If it isn't cheap, it won't work. At least for a company that wants to build links at scale, if they are paying a lot of money per link,
Yes.
they might as well pay a writer to post something about them on Huffington Post or
Yes.
other sites like that,
Yes.
and it might be cheaper that way.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Yeah, so like realistically, how much time do you think a website owner or an SEO person has to spend on developing the content. Because I know there's a lot of people who try to rush the content. They're like, write 5 articles today, and then we can use it for link building. And I just think that it's not a very long-term strategy.
First of all, I take almost 2 weeks to write a blog post.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's around 5,000 words. If you take a look at my website, you'll find that my posts are very long. And I try to make every post as complete as possible.
Yes.
And I really don't like that approach where people write 500-word posts.
Yes.
Because and I learned that with the penalty I got from Google AdSense when they told me I had duplicate content. That was one of the main reasons why I was penalized. But the other one, I think I only had the videos and a short description of the video below. So that they might have considered that my posts were at thin content.
Yes.
So I don't advise people to write 500-word posts. Well, that's a strategy. If it works for them, fine, keep doing it. But I don't like to do that. I like to write in-depth content, long posts with lots of information.
Yes.
Where people can learn about what they need and want. If they want, they can skip a section and read the other one. So that's important to me. And I know that longer posts also rank better.
Yes.
And longer posts also get more links.
Yes.
That there was actually a post on Quick Sprouts, Neil Patel blog, where he came up with a guide, super long guide, and he was actually saying that people didn't even care to read the guide or start to read it. They were already commenting and praising him for the guide and linking to it without even reading it, because it was so long. Yeah, it had to be good.
Yes.
So that's my idea. I prefer long content and not just rushing content. That's the most important thing on your website. It's content.
Yes.
So it has to be really good, or else your website is just like someone else's website.
Yes.
It doesn't add value it doesn't bring value to the table.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Look, I completely agree with everything that you said. It's almost like you are my twin, from Portugal. So thank you for giving us some really, really wise words of advice. I think we're going to wrap up, but just before we do, can you just tell people where they can find you and what websites they should follow you on?
They can follow my progress as I tackle new online business and marketing strategy and growth hacks on my website buzznitrous.com, and they can follow me on Twitter and that sort of stuff. That I have 2 Twitter profiles, one for the website.
Yes.
That's with at buzznitrous, and the other one is at Louie Luc.
Okay.
That's how they can find me.
All right, awesome. Well, again, thank you for being on the show today. It's been incredibly valuable to have you on. Wise words of wisdom. Everybody, make sure you follow him on Twitter, follow him on BuzzNitros, and you're going to see great things from this man. Thank you again, Louie.
Thank you, David.